All right. Okay, this is one of my. Okay. This session, I think this is happening for the first time in Readers and Debaters Club. But bring your own book is a concept which is very common in offline book clubs. The concept is that book lovers, readers, they come together and they carry the book that they're reading or the book that they want to talk about, and everyone sits in a circle, or like how we have a parties, and everyone talks about it. Most of the time, if there are more than 10 or more than 10 people in the club, at least couple of them connect over their likes of books. Books is, it's a common platform. Reading is a common platform. It makes you feel connected to others. It makes you feel connected to fictional characters. So for the first time, I'm trying this on an online setting. So we would need very active participation. The only concept, it's a fun activity. There's no competition, there's no rewards, recognition, nothing. It's just books and how much you want to talk about it. So the idea is we will spotlight volunteers, participants, and we will give them the stage for a couple of minutes. I'll ask them a couple of questions related to the book and just talk about it. Talk about the book. Talk about whether is there a character you like? Is this a book you would recommend to someone else? Is the book that you're reading right now? Is this something which is inspirational? Is it something you have taken from it? It just creates some sort of impact on you. So the thought is go all out. I would like in the chat box, please, can my volunteers, can my participants write their names, or I'll start calling up people. Come on. Okay, I see Rajveer's hand. Okay, I have Rajveer.
Yeah.
And Rajveer, shall we start with you?
Yes.
All right, let's please spotlight yourself. I'm just roughly timing it for a couple of minutes. It's the timer. You don't need to, time it or show any cards, please.
Okay.
So
So I
Rajveer,
have to. Yeah. Go on.
Rajveer, so tell me, do you have a book with you?
Yes. Actually, I'm traveling.
Oh,
During weekend, I come to my native place, so I have online the soft copy with me. I use my Kindle book. I don't know if it is
okay, great.
visible to you all. Can you see the book Ikigai?
Okay, it's the image is breaking actually. We can,
Remove the background.
yeah, the background. You remove the background, yeah.
Let me try now.
Yes. Yes, Ikigai.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the book which I read recently,
Okay.
and I just wanted to talk about it. I mean, as because our club is also thematic club, and we love reading books. And I remember A Man's Search for Meaning was another book which this club recommended to all the members. And there is one particular quote in that book, like, he who has a why will survive anyhow. Viktor Frank. So this book, takes it to further in the operational aspect of it. How do we find purpose in our life, and how do we live a purposeful life? And that's where this concept ikigai comes into picture. So it's a Japanese proverb, and it has two small words, iki and gai. The iki means life, and the kai means realization of hopes and expectations. So author narrates like how good food habits and finding purpose, doing things which really matter in your life. If you find that sweet spot, where this is something which the world wants us to do, this is something which we could do, we have necessary skills, and it is also the need of the society. So that is what would be the sweet spot called as ikigai. And I would recommend this book to everyone, whosoever is into finding purpose or finding meaning, in your life. So this book is really helpful. It gives us that necessary direction how to find our purpose.
Wow. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you, Rajvi. Thank you so much. I have also read Ikigai, and it took me a bit of patience to finish that book because there's a lot of lessons that you need to absorb it. One thing that I would like to say about it is the book cover is beautiful. That blue book cover is beautiful. All right. Thank you so much, Rajvi. Next participant. Where is my next participant? Please,
Sanchita.
please.
Yes, Sanchita.
Sanchita, please. Let's highlight Sanchita. Sanchita, where are you?
Yep, I'm here.
Where is your book?
Yes, so this is my book, Everyday Ayurveda by Dr. Bhaswati Bhattacharya. This is something which I stumbled upon on Amazon. I was researching about one of the Ayurveda books which was recommended in my yoga class. So I was researching about it, and then I found this. This book is very relevant to what we are living right now. I mean, since childhood, I've been hearing so many things from my grandmother. You should do this, you should do that. So when you wake up, you need to wash your eyes, you need to make sure your nose is clean, you have to make sure that you don't mix fruits in milk, you should not put honey in hot water. I used to just think, wait, why is she saying that? No one of my age does that. But then when I read this, Dr. Baswati makes it really very clear about why we should do and what we should not do. And she has also mentioned everything, every ritual that at least I have taken granted in my life. And now I have this newfound appreciation of all the rituals and rites that my grandparents follow. And also the surprising fact about her is like she moved to United States when she was a kid. She got her MD degree from Harvard, and then she came back to India to learn about Ayurveda. So she's also an Ayurvedic doctor. So that's really amazing about her. And then this gives her a different insight of comparing the modern medicines with the ancient traditional medicines. So I would recommend this book to everyone because it's very good, and it also clarifies few things which we don't understand. And personally, it has helped me a lot. And I also gifted one of my friends the same book on her birthday. So if anyone's interested, you can contact me and we can discuss about this book. Thank you.
Perfect. Wow. I actually noted down the name, I would like, please write down, the author name also in the chat box, please. And, this is the best thing about if you like a book, you tend to gift it. I have gifted Khalil Gibran to six people in my life. And the Prophet I've gifted. Every time someone senior comes and, visits my house, I'll just go and buy that book and gift. They'll be happy, I'll be happy. All right. We have participants. All right. Let's highlight Muskan. Muskan.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Anushri. So the book, I do not have the book right now at home. I give it to a friend. Can you see the book? Okay. Is it visible by any chance?
James Clear.
Yeah, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Yes. I think most of you have heard about this book. This book was a lot of hype, especially in 2021. I have read around 20 books this year, but this one book has made huge impact in my life because it made me change something and it made me start something which I have been wanting to do for a long time. This book is for someone who wants to build habits and make it a part of their identity. That is what James Clear says in this book. Now, there are certain principles and something he mentions it so easily that you can actually follow it every day. Unlike what we do, we set up new resolutions and we don't tend to follow it. But the way he has simplified everything makes it super easy. I'll just share what he had made. There was one thing that's mentioned in this book, that always make your habits very obvious, very attractive, very easy, and something very satisfying. Also, he mentioned that success is not about not transformations. It's about something doing on a daily basis. So all of this helped me do what I wanted. So I'll just tell what I started with. I wanted to start getting up early because I was in college 3 years back and my schedule was, I mean, I wouldn't even use a word. It was just really bad. So when I came back home here in Siliguri, everyone wakes up like 5 a.m. After 5 a.m., no one is sleeping. And I used to be the only lazy one sleeping at home. 2 days, my parents were like, okay, 10 days, 1 month. And then they were like, you need to get up early. And I couldn't possibly do it ever. So when I started following his principle, I started making it easy. I started setting up something. Okay, I know I like reading books as whenever I go to sleep with my book also. So I knew that if I wake up having a book, then it will automatically make me read. I knew if I set up an alarm, which is something of my favorite tune, I will get up easily. I know if I set up an accountability partner with me to go to the gym, I picked up my best friend to go to the gym. So yes, that was satisfying because I know after the gym we might as well talk or gossip or do whatever. So all of this led to being the only reason was Atomic Habits, and that book changed my life. I would just say it that way. Over to you, Anushree.
Thank you, Muskan. Thank you so much. It's one of my favorite books also. And, it's so difficult to make the habit. I mean, seriously. But if you have someone, and especially if you're actually a reader by heart. You sleep with a book and you wake up with a book. That's wonderful. All right. I need to move on to the next part. Avinash, our presiding officer. Come on. I'm just muting my.
Yeah. So so you said what I am currently reading and what I want to discuss. So I'm currently reading this. But if I tell about this, the secret will be out. Death on the Nile. So it's a murder mystery. But right now, I wanted to share this. That is Eat the Frog First. So this is by Brian Tracy. And this is about our favorite topic, procrastination. So how to get rid of that particular thing. And eating the frog, that is the most disgusting thing you can ever have, right? So that is why the title, the things which yeah, Rajveer, you were saying something?
Could you please display that book again?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you for the photograph. So thank you. So what I was saying is he has shared 21 great ways of how to get more done in less time. And the best part about this particular book is that he says that write it down. So for the next year, now this is December and this is the right time to read this book, because he says that, put 10 goals for the next year, right, on a piece of paper. Okay, those things which you want to achieve, and put it in the present tense, single and passive form. Okay, singular passive form. So say for example, I am driving BMW in the month of September 2022, whatever. Okay? So this is something. Yeah, I know I won't be, but yeah, I am giving you an example. So what is my goal exactly? Take those 10 goals and go into the depth of it. And out of those 10 goals, pick one goal and write it in a separate piece of paper. And that is the most, important goal that will impact you immensely, and then start working on that. So here the focus is you take one thing at a time. You start with something. He has given so many ideas. Like he has given this A, B, C, D, E formula, where the A is something which you do right now, which is the most important, most urgent. You do it right now. And then B is a little less important. And when you reach till E is something at which we eliminate. So time management things, how to overcome procrastinating by focusing on one task at a time, and trying to focus on that particular task which you are going away from, which you procrastinate often, and maybe that is the particular task which actually has the greatest potential for the immense potential for your growth. So this is beautiful thing. And one thing which I still remember is effective procrastination. Now he has given this thing, effective procrastination. So sometimes, see, procrastination, we do it unconsciously. But if we bring it to your conscience, right? Okay, what exactly? So we can focus on that the valuable thing which we have procrastination. Instead of that, we can focus on those things and effectively procrastinate those things which are not that important in our life. Okay. So that is something which I found very fascinating. Okay. So this is a must read book. It's not, it's more like a guide, 21 ways to do something. And the best part again is that at the end of this, putting it all together, conclusion, it has a summary of all those 21 points, right? And that is beautiful. So if you read and if you want to go back again and read it, you can just read the summary and you'll be able to remember it again, because every time you read it, you will get insights on how to manage your time and procrastinate. So thank you. Over to you. I took a lot of time. Sorry for that.
Thank you, Avinash. I mean, this is the right time to actually pick that book up. December. We have a new year coming. New year resolutions are knocking on our door. And I believe the book is pretty thin, so I think everyone can read it. It's like this much. More than happy. All right, let's highlight the next speaker, Harsh, I believe so. No, Sanat. Hi, Sanat.
Hello, Anushri. So
Okay.
this is one of my favorite books, which I had read around last year. So it's this. I hope you can see it clearly. So the book title is Fluid, written by an author, Ashish Jaiswal. He's a fairly new author, and what he means by fluid means a fluid approach, the fluid mentality. So what he means is like taking interest in many different fields or domains and taking knowledge from different domains and to apply it in your own expertise or in your own specialized field. Now someone may put up an argument. It will be like you will become jack of all trades but expert of none. But here the author says you can be jack of all trades and expert of one. So how you can be? So if you imagine a T, so you go deep in one particular domain, your specialized domain. That's the vertical line, and the horizontal line in the T represents it that you are broadening your perspective, that you broaden your knowledge into different domains. So this can be an approach like going deep in your specialized domain, but taking from different domains as well, which actually helps you in your specialized field. So for example, like I would like to give my own example here, where when I'm in a aerospace engineering, I'm doing my PhD in, actually it's in aerospace engineering, but in that I have to also do a lot of coding, which is computer engineering part, and our mechanical and aerospace engineers also mostly hate coding, hate it and avoid it at all costs. But when I got to realize that coding is actually useful in doing things, and it's actually in few of our subjects we require to like use computers and codes. And as we all know, computers are everywhere, and IT knowledge and coding knowledge can be applied in each and every field. So that I took also the knowledge from coding as well, and a few other subjects like electronics and all, so that I can use it in my research. So, and this approach is actually used in history as well as in present. So there is an example given in this book that our a renowned scientist from India, Dr. C.V. Raman, he actually did a research on our instrument Mridanga, which is one of our ancient instrument from India, like which was invented around thousands of years back. So about that instrument, how it is actually manufactured, and there is a science in like manufacturing the instrument, like how it is given, like how it is, like how it is designed. There is a science in it, and you also, like for manufacturing such an instrument, you also need to know the basics of music, like how it sounds, like how it should be manufactured so it sounds pleasant. And Mridanga it's actually a percussion instrument. It looks like a dholki, but it sounds very sweet. So there has to be a science in it, that the way it's manufactured, it sounds very, even if you hit it hard, it sounds very sweet. So
Correct.
there has to be a science in it. So that,
Sanat, I am sorry, I need to cut you
Yeah.
down. It's
Okay.
already 5 minutes. But lovely. I mean, I have heard about that book and the Fluid, right? Yes, and I would love to read about it. I mean, I believe it had come a couple of years back, and it was pretty much on everyone's list to be to be read. All right,
Yeah.
just last. I know we are getting a bit late, but please, let's allow our TMOD to speak also. Where's Harsh? Harsh, please.
All right, so my camera
Apply.
works for 10 seconds. I'll switch on my camera, show the
It's
book,
okay.
and then
Yes.
let's pray for the best. All right, so the book is my camera. You Are a Badass. I didn't buy it for the name of the book, but yeah, it's a pretty awesome book. It's written by Jen Sincero. So this book is something really good for me as a Gen Z person, because I'm at that phase of a life where when I grew up, you are taught certain set of things. You behave with people like this, the world is this, that, blah, blah, blah. When you take that first step outside home, you enter into the college and then slowly into a corporate life, you realize the world is 360-degree reverse of that. It's completely different. So a lot of times your beliefs get challenged. And as a person as well, when you take a decision, the first thing that you would think is, how will the other person react to it? Not whether it's good or right. So very small beliefs like that, which end up getting challenged and you kind of feel overwhelmed about it. So this book is my go-to book for that. It has a lot of, it's a practical book. It's not of a theoretical that it happens like this. No, it's a highly practical book. So I am not going to, I won't say that I have adopted 100% of it, but yes, I'm close to, I've adopted 60 to 70% of the teaching of this book. And life has been far more better for me, I would say. And yes, I'll keep it short and sweet. So go to book if you feel at any point that a certain set of belief of yours is being challenged and you don't know what to do. Over to you, Toastmaster Anushri.
Thank you.
All right, camera also.
Harsh. I mean, the name itself is very interesting. All right. So I am getting pinged by everyone to just close this session. So Varsha and me, poor host, I don't think we'll be able to share our our favorite books, but I hope we will do this kind of session in the future, and next time around I'll take more minutes. I'm just putting my name out.